Elemental magic of the peppermint plant. 283. The elemental department of the peppermint is intimately related with the three runes AR, TYR, and Man. 284. The first rune AR represents God within man, the divine forces acting within the human being, and the sacred altar of life. 285. The second rune TYR represents the divine trinity, reincarnating itself through the wheel of births and deaths. 286. The third rune, Man, represents the human being. 287. The governing angel of the mint helps us to pass from the darkness into the light. 288. The hierarchies related with the elemental department of the peppermint act by leading the reincarnating souls through the narrow way that arrives to the womb. 289. The divine hierarchies of the peppermint plant synthesize their activities in the three runes IS, ITR, and Gibor. 290. IS represents the phallus in which all the power of the sexual force is enclosed. 291. Rita represents the rose that symbolizes divine justice. 292. Gibor represents the letter G of generation. 293. The activity of great beings is related with the elemental department of the peppermint and is based on these three fundamental letters. 294. The angels who are related with the elemental department of the peppermint wisely direct the entire scientific process of reincarnation, the entire biological process of fetal conception. The passage that the masculine sperm travels in the narrow fallopian tubes is very similar to the straight and narrow passage that leads from the darkness into the light. In the ancient temples of the mysteries, the neophyte reached the altar of the temple after he passed through a narrow and straight passage that led him from the darkness into the light. The hierarchies related with the peppermint scientifically direct all of the biological processes of the reproduction of the race according to cosmic justice. The governing angel of this elemental department of nature wisely leads us through the narrow passage of the temples of the mysteries to the altar of illumination. The peppermint is intimately related with the Akashic records of nature. The mantras of the peppermint permit us to remember our past reincarnations. These mantras are Raum Gaum. These mantras can be vocalized mentally during the retrospection exercises performed in profound meditation in order to remember our past lives. These mantras, Raum Gaum, permit us to open the closed records of nature's memory in order to remember our past reincarnations. This is the elemental magic of the peppermint. Many disciples will find it unusual and even strange that I relate the peppermint to the law of reincarnation and with the biological processes of human conception. On page 294 of the first volume of The Secret Doctrine, H.P. Blavatsky cites Hermes Trismegistus as stating, "The creation of life by the sun is as continuous as his light. Nothing arrests or limits it. Around him, like an army of satellites, are innumerable choirs of genii. These dwell in the neighborhood of the immortals, and thence watch over human things. They fulfill the will of the gods, karma, by means of storms, tempests, transitions of fire, and earthquakes, likewise by famines and wars, for the punishment of impiety. It is the sun who preserves and nourishes all creatures, and even as the ideal world that environs the sensible world fills this last with the plenitude and universal variety of forms, so also the sun, enfolding all in his light, accomplishes everywhere the birth and development of creatures. Under his orders is the choir of genii, or rather the choirs, for there are many and diverse, and their number corresponds to that of the stars. Every star has its genii, good and evil by nature, or rather by their operation, for operation is the essence of the genii. All of these genii preside over mundane affairs. They shake and overthrow the constitution of states and of individuals. They imprint their likeness on our souls. They are present in our nerves, our marrow, our veins, our arteries, and our very brain substance. At the moment when each one of us receives life and being, he is taken in charge by the genii who preside over births, and who are classed beneath the astral powers, superhuman astral spirits. They change perpetually, not always identically, but revolving in circles, or progressive cycles in development. They permeate through the body two parts of the soul, that it may receive from each the impress of his own energy. But the reasonable part of the soul is not subject to the genii. It is designed for the reception of the God, which enlightens it with a sunny ray. Those who are thus illumined are few in number, and from them the genii abstain. This is how the human beings liberate themselves from karma. For neither genii nor gods have any power in the presence of a single ray of God. But all other men, both soul and body, are directed by the genii to whom they cleave and whose operations they effect. The genii then have the control of mundane affairs, and our bodies serve them as instruments. These elemental genii of nature are known in India as bhuts, devas, shaitans, and jinn. All these great beings are children from the mist of the fire. They are the army of the voice. They are perfect beings. Everything that exists in the universe has sprouted from its seed. The seeds of everything that exists are the monadic essences of the mist of the fire. When the heart of the solar system began to palpitate after the great cosmic night, the devouring atoms of the mist of the fire dispersed all the atoms of the monadic essences for the elemental life of the four kingdoms of nature to emerge from them. Each atom of nature is the physical body of a virginal spark that incessantly evolves through time and space. These virginal sparks, when united, are called monadic essences. Each one of the atoms of our physical body and our internal bodies are the living incarnation of these virginal sparks. All the virginal sparks evolve and progress under the direction of the angels. Our disciples will now understand why the angels of the Peppermint direct all the processes of fetal conception and reproduction of the races. There are three aspects of cosmic evolution that are found mixed and entwined everywhere upon our earth. These three aspects are monadic evolution, mental evolution, and physical evolution. However, the monadic essences are the fundamental base of mental and physical development in the processes of evolution. As long as the monadic essences are evolving, all of great nature is transforming. Each one of these three evolving currents is directed and governed by various groups of dhyanis or logos. These groups of divine beings are found represented in our entire human constitution. That which is called the human being is constituted by the monadic current in union with the evolving wave of the mind and with the evolution of the physical body. The evolving wave of the mind is represented by the manasadhyanis, the solar devas, or Pitri's Agnishvata. The evolution of the physical body is represented by the chayas from the lunar Pitris. Nature, the evolving physical power, can never acquire consciousness or intelligence without the help of these divine angels. The manasadhyanis are the ones who endow the human being with mind and intelligence. Each virginal atom of the mineral kingdom is the physical body of a virginal spark that aspires to become human. We read the following comment from page 183 of the first volume of The Secret Doctrine by H.P. Blavatsky. Every form on earth and every speck, atom, in space strives in its efforts toward self-formation to follow the model placed for it in the heavenly man. Its involution and evolution, its external and internal growth and development have all one and the same object, man, as the highest physical and ultimate form on this earth, the monad in its absolute totality and awakened condition as the culmination of the divine incarnations on earth. All the animal, vegetable, and mineral elementals will convert themselves into human beings during the periods of Jupiter, Venus, and Vulcan. To synthesize, all four of our inferior bodies are formed by atomic elementals or atomic consciousness governed by devas or angels of nature. Our individual life is totally related with the universal life. The internal life of the plants is within us. As well, the region of the distinct elemental departments of nature is within ourselves, directing our biological processes and all of our conscious and mental processes. The 4 seasons of the year are within ourselves. They repeat themselves in our internal consciousness. Therefore, it is impossible to separate our life from the great ocean of the universal life. With a simple herb, we can often free the tempests or make the earth tremble, because the life of an insignificant herb